Hello everybody, Malinka here, and today I'm gonna speak about Anna Karenina. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's too much light. Anna Karenina by Lev Tolstoy. This is one of Tolstoy's most important novels that he wrote together with War and Peace, and it's one of the most impressive books I read of Tolstoy. And I think I like it much more than War and Peace, just because I can tell that War and Peace was written as an epic novel. It contained a lot of deep spiritual things, a lot of philosophical things together with, with the earthly things. And while Anna Karenina puts into perspective the family life, simple things like how we interact with other people, what do we do as a bachelor, what do we think about family life before getting married, how is the marriage arranged or how it happens, and what happens after the marriage. So it's basically more focused to simple things that we all go through, hopefully, or like relationships, while War and Peace was focused more on life of exceptional people like Napoleon and like Andrei Balkovsky and Natasha, and their destiny to be sacrificed or not to be sacrificed. Anna Karenina is also very much simple written. It's very easy to read it. I didn't find it tedious. I didn't find it too long. There were only two bits that I thought that they were not even important to the plot, but they described the life of the community, so I guess they were important. So the language is much easy to understand. There are not as many characters as War and Peace. There are very limited number of characters, and I'm lucky that in this version the names are displayed only by one name. So it's translated by Joel Carmichael. So instead of him writing the full name and patronymic, he was just using one name. So that was really easy. Talking a little bit about the plot, if you have not seen any film adaptation, it's very difficult to give the story of this book because there are so many stories in one book. But basically it revolves around couples and around two huge families, aristocratic family and important families in Russia at that time. We have the Shcherbatskys, they're like a prince and princess family, and they have three daughters, Dolly, Kitty and Natasha, and Levins. They are also aristocratic, but they live at the country, and we have there Kostya, Nikolai and others. I don't remember them because they're a little bit more secondary. Nikolai and Kostya are the most important ones. And the happy couples and unhappy couples are Anna and her husband Alexei Karenin. We have Dolly and Stiva Oblonsky, and then we have Kitty and Kostya Levin. These are the most important couples, and basically the actions revolve around their life and their choices. Until Anna meets Count Vronsky and things change and they start this doomed relationship that everybody condemns and points their finger at there. Despite of all this judgment from the society, from their families, from their parents, Anna and Count Vronsky stay together for a while. They travel to Europe, they come back to Russia, and they do live as husband and wife. And it's surprising to me how long their relationship lasted in these hostile environment and hostile like criticism and non-acceptance from the society. It's actually very impressive. Anna and Count Vronsky fought for this relationship until there was blood. Honestly, I was very surprised how many resources and how many strategies and ideas this woman, because it was more Anna's contribution, how many ideas she had to keep this relation going. Of course, the frustration, the misunderstanding, the separation from the society and separation from, just a normal life took their toll on Anna, and it happened what it happened. But until that point, I was absolutely amazed of the power that she had, and of the ideas and of new resources founding in herself, new power of feeding that relationship and continuing that relationship. So that was really, really cool to read. Another surprise for me was that the book continued after the tragedy of Anna Karenina, that something happened at the train station, and I was done already. I was finished. I was crying. I didn't care about the book anymore, but it continued. And then I realized that another very important character is Kostya Levin. It's basically, I feel like Tolstoi focuses on self-discovery and discovering what is your role in the society, and what is your role in the world, and what are your life principles. And he does this with Anna and with Kostya Levin, so we get to compare the road that these two characters go through. So basically we have Anna here, who discovers that she's not happy in her family. She cannot go along with this lie and just being quiet while having an adventure, because she wants to have the same rights and the same happiness in life like the others have, or like men that decides to separate. But back then divorce was almost impossible, and it was a public shame to have somebody divorce you. So the husband didn't want to hear about it, the society didn't want to hear about it, but she fought for this right. And she was discovering herself, what she wants for herself. She decided that she's not interested in having children, which was crazy for that time. The role of the woman was to get married and have children and be very religious. And she decided she doesn't want that. She wants to live for herself. She wanted to travel with Vronsky. She wanted to build this relationship. She wanted a house. So she was self-discovering herself, and in that process she kept being beaten down by the society for doing those things. While Levin, Kostya Levin, he was deciding on his own what he wants to do. Does he want to marry Katya? Does he want to live in the city or live in the at the countryside? And for him it was also very difficult, because in his heart he was struggling what decisions to take, what road to take, how he feels about God, how he feels about family. But the society never beat him down for those choices. That's the main difference. And we see that as comparison, Anna is much more of a fighter than Levin, who was getting offended at, I don't know, some sentences somebody was telling to him. So we see what a strong character Anna is, and how she manages to survive in this hostile environment. But I never identified myself with Anna, and I felt really bad, because I am a fighter, and I do support rebels and feminists, but I could not get warm to her, or I don't know how to say. And I noticed a lot of people had the same idea and the same impression, that Anna was somebody that you could not identify with, while Kostya Levin, Kitty, even Karenin, even Vronsky, we were much closer to them. And then I realized why. It was because I never heard Anna's story before the affair. I never read when she got married, how was her life before marriage, where are her parents, like where are her friends, does she has any sister, brothers? And I realized that her story was never included, because Tolstoy's objective was to write a cautionary tale. What happens to you if you decide to break out from the society rules and be an adulteress? And because of this, he never included Anna's story before the affair. And this is why nobody feels a connection with her, because she's basically a stranger. She just appears at the train station, very proud, very gracious person, very mysterious, and we understand why Count Vronsky falls in love with her, because she's so mysterious and so graceful. But we as readers, we never feel close to her because we don't know anything about her. So Tolstoy, he did a great job But I do feel that Anna Karenina is underrated because of this. Because when you read and when you see how many things she invents in order this relationship to work, and she's fighting with herself, like her interior world does not match with what she's saying or what she's doing, but she's doing it anyway so she could, you know, make the society accept her or continue with this relationship. So it's amazing. I think that she was a fighter and she is badass. But, you know, because of the hostile environment, all these things took its toll, and it happened what it happened at the train station. And lastly, I want to talk about Kostya Levin transformation and self-discovery after tragedy with Anna. He was married already with Kitty and they had a child, and it was amazing how he was understanding his marriage and his wife. At the same time, reading Levin's story, Kostya Levin's story of self-discovery and understanding who he is as a human being, what is his purpose in life, like what can he do, what is the main objective, really inspired me and got me thinking about my own life. And that's what I love about Tolstoi. He always puts some simple words in this character's speech and makes you think about your own position in the world. And I absolutely loved it. I cannot wait to get my own copy, my brand new copy, so I can reread it and just love this book more, because I feel it's so underrated and people misunderstood it because they were thinking that they're going to read some extraordinary character, Anna Karenina, while this book is so much more than Anna and her affair or her relation. So I hope you read it. Let me know down in the comments if you did like it. I know that a lot of people are confused and did not enjoy Karenina as much, but I hope you'll give it a second chance. Thank you so much. Bye bye.